All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Overshot Paintball Podcast. Before I introduce you guys to our amazing guests, I need to tell you, of course, about the A1 from day one, Dizana Sports. They are makers of the SF joggers, the Grind Air gloves. They have these awesome, cool new hockey jerseys that just came out that are like paintball jerseys. I'm definitely going to pick up an Islanders one. So anytime you go to their website, use code Overshot, you'll get 10% off your entire order, not one item, the whole order. So definitely go check that out and pick up something nice, some new joggers or gloves, or they have awesome new t-shirts they've just been coming out with. Some are going to be on pre-order, so definitely go look those up. And also Volcano USA is their website. Volcano is the name of the company. They make the new bags. You may see Nick Sloviak rocking them. They're all over the place. But we also have a partnership with them. So if you go to their website and you use code OVERSHOT10, you'll get 10% off your bag. But now that the bills are paid, I can't wait to get talk to Cesar from Ultra Silk. Guy's been in the game for a long time. I'm super grateful for him to be on the show. So Cesar, thanks for joining us, man.
You're welcome. No worries.
Awesome. So I'd love to know how paintball found people. So how did paintball find you? Were you shooting people up in the back of the woods, or was it like a birthday party? How did paintball come into your life?
Oh, I was a trim carpenter back in 1988. I was building a deck for a customer, and their son was actually shooting a Spitfire pump gun in the garage. And I just thought it was odd that, it was just a little ball that's flying out and there was this ball, paint breaking. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, I took the money from that job after I shot the gun and went and bought the same thing. It was a Spitfire pump, and we were playing into the backwoods, and from there it snowballed into me buying some paint, selling to them, um, case wise, breaking it all down and saying, hey,
Right.
what? I'll buy a case. I got money. I'll sell you guys at 100 rounds at a time. So everybody was able to get paint at $6 100 when it was at the store at $8 100 because I was buying by the case.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
there it took off from there, and then so, but I mean, then I started getting into the VM68s and modifying them, and from there, back then it was like Masters of Game. The first thing that got me modifying was like the expansion chambers that people used to put on the VM68s, the Terra systems. And I drove out to Chicago with my wife now, which was my girlfriend, and we went out to see Dan Colby at Masters of the Game, which was Air America, Gorilla Air, Immortal Air, all that stuff now. And it just snowballed from there. And then when I got my hands on an autococker, I was just tinkering like crazy.
Yeah, that was
I
great
mean,
about
I
the
can't
autococker
believe how
phase.
much tinkering.
Yeah, exactly. So what was your first cocker? Oh, we may
It
have
was
lost
just a
Cesar.
base autococker that you get from War Game Products. So it was just a standard autococker, and you had to literally put a ball detent in it, push pin. This way the guns were functioning, but they worked. I mean, that's what made my whole living on was shooting cockers.
Right. So at this point in time in your playing career, were you playing like scenario games? Were you playing tournaments? Like, how did you really get like the bulk of your playing in?
Well, we went right into tournament play 5-man. Um, so it would have been like 93. We were playing a lot of tournament balls under Lightning Force. About 95, 94, 95 is when, we got together with a bunch of other guys and we formed Fusion, the original, Fusion with Travis
Mhm.
Lemansky, Brian Fowle, Greg Posey, Andy Kopchak, Brad Waterman, all those guys were on that original Detroit Fusion team.
Yeah, real OGs.
So yeah, we're talking. Well, look at what Travis is doing now. He's got Infamous, the whole Infamous brand, everything.
Even Andy's come back around playing the mechanical 10 mans again. It's all come back.
Well, yeah, he's playing Dynasty. Last time I saw him play.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. I'm not sure, but when we played them in the semis at ICC, I think last year, it was either him or Blake Yarber shot me right in the fucking head.
Well, it's paintball. I'm pretty sure everybody gets shot in the head once or twice.
Yeah. Hey, man, but I love that experience. Like I said, I learned more in those 12 seconds I was alive in that game than I did 3 years prior to playing, you know?
No, it's just, I mean, the whole paintball thing. I mean, it's like in 2005 when I closed everything down. The fields, the store. I mean, it took a lot out of me. I mean, I was completely crushed because I did it from '88. From playing, hardcore and playing every weekend, and driving to Chicago and driving to Pennsylvania, and that's what made us very like strong team because we were able to drive to Pennsylvania just before Pittsburgh. We were able to drive to Chicago just before the Chicago events and literally practice the fields against the All A's in Pittsburgh and all the other teams there. And in 96, we ended up, winning, the events. Or was it 98? I don't know. I got to pull up the books, but I'm pretty sure it was 96. I'm pretty sure it was
No,
96.
no, that definitely helps. That definitely helps, like playing those fields. And I'm sure that was a big part of your guys' success was getting that time in.
No, especially on the mounds.
Oh, yeah.
So, right after that, we've gotten, then I had to rebuild because that fusion team, the original team, broke off and they went and started, they took their 10 and they played under, um, would have been, they went from to Revolution. And then the following year, I believe they went to Ed's team. They went to Avalanche.
Okay.
So that was the year that they went to Avalanche, those guys. And then after that, it's when they started Infamous, a bunch of them after they left Ed. But I mean, in those years, I continued to build other teams. I mean, I had a 98 winning team and then I had a 2000 winning team. But you got to remember, we did play pro, in between there. And
Right.
we had one pro event taken away from us, which then I rebuilt again in amateur. And what happens in this industry, guys get big heads and they figured, what, the grass is greener on the other side. So I'm like, go for it. I can't pay
Right.
you what these guys are telling you they're going to pay you. If I can make paintball free, that's huge.
That's huge.
I mean, what teams, I mean, nowadays you got to pay for everything. I mean, everybody's, we just played the ICPL last week, and we split it accordingly. Everybody had to pay. It wasn't a whole lot of money. I mean, what was it? $115 and $185 for the whole event. I
Yeah.
mean, it
No, the
wasn't
mechanical
much.
stuff is definitely not as bad as like I played an X Ball event last week, and what did we shoot? We shot 25 cases. I think paint was like 100. Just paint alone was like $180 a dude. I think last time
Wow.
I played that ICPL, I think paint was like $50 a dude. Like,
Correct. Well, at the ICPL this past weekend, it was $35 a case,
what were you
and we
guys
shot
shooting?
42 uh, GI. I mean,
Okay.
5-star, and it shot amazing. It shot really well. I mean, our gun shot well. The weather was, hit and miss. It was cold in the morning, but the paint was heated. So,
Yeah.
but
Did you guys have any rain up there? Did it rain at all? I think it rained in
yeah,
the
there
morning,
there
right?
was.
One
Oh
time.
yeah, yeah. It's wet in the morning there. Yep. Yeah, but
Yeah, I
we didn't
saw
play,
muddy
during the
pitches.
rain. It was a fun event after 15 years to come back and do it all over again. It was like deja vu. I mean, it was completely like deja vu. And doing coin flips with Steve from OBR, I was just like, this
Mhm.
is crazy. So
Yeah, no, it's so much
you
fun.
know,
Like, whenever they ask one of us for the coin flip and stuff, it's always so funny. I'm like, yo, I'm not important enough to be the coin flip. Like Steve, Rosie, Mooner, someone come over here. The coin, you got to do the coin flip.
yeah. No, it was crazy. I mean, they asked me to do the coin flip with all, because I'm not the captain. Nick's the captain of the team. I just keep, I stay behind the scenes. I got enough stuff going on.
Yeah, right. That's like how it is with us. Like Steve Casano is the main dude. He kind of runs everything. The rest of us are just like his little monkeys. And he calls us up when he
No,
needs us to come
it's
kill people.
hey, a good leader has good people around them, and that's what makes them a leader.
No, for sure.
So,
So something I don't want to blow like right on past you is talking about you owning a field. So what was the name of your field? Because we have a lot of young listeners who probably don't even know. We're talking about the 88. I was only born in 87. Jeez, man. So what was the name of your field and kind of what happened when that whole thing broke down, I
well,
guess, and what you would call the recession of paintball?
what happened was is that there was a big indoor field here that was called Splatball City, and it was owned by the Reverend. Everybody called him the Reverend. And years after of the field being like starting to go downhill, a good customer of mine bought the business from the Reverend, and he was trying to operate it and get it going, and he was just having a tough time running it. So like the last 2 years of the field being in existence, he asked us to run it, and we ran it for him. I brought a bunch of guys in and ran it, and it did well. You know what I mean? And that's where I got my taste of an indoor field. And the indoor field was this old assembly plant, the Packard cars, and that's where they
Okay.
used to play paintball. It was a dangerous building to play in. So it was completely one of the dangerous parts of Detroit to be playing paintball in. But you go, I don't know if you ever seen the movie The Transformers, where they were like these big tall buildings, and then they blew it up, and then there was like bunch of windows. I can't remember, but if you look up the Packard building on Transformers, they'll show it to you.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
So
Big nerd. I know what you're talking about.
yeah, yeah. So, but right after that, and then Sam from Lone Wolf said, "Hey, let's open up an indoor field in the suburbs, because his indoor fields at the time, I believe, were in Detroit as well. He had one in the suburbs, but then we opened up the UPC, the Ultimate Paintball Challenge, and that was in the suburbs of Detroit, right off of 16 Mile Road. And there was four of us involved, and it didn't work out too well. And I bailed out, and that's when paintball was like, what was it, like 2001? I mean, that was like the store was taking off, the team was doing good. So I
Yeah.
just got out of the indoor field business, which today Lone Wolf is like the biggest name in the Midwest,
Oh yeah.
around here. And these guys, and Joe and Tony Angelari, Joe bought the business from his dad, Sam. And the reason why I even got back involved is because, I was up at the store always working on guns and helping them out, and they're helping me out, promoting me. And then I just got back involved into, building guns again. And that's
Hmm.
when I came out with the Super Cocker, 2 years ago. And I said, you know what, I'm going to redo it again and build it again. I took the Meteor platform and I turned it into the Super Cocker, which you've probably seen a lot of them.
The Super Cocker ones are
And
dope. I mean,
so,
I've definitely seen them. It's too funny. So people want to like a little idea. I actually have a meteor right here. I was playing with while I was waiting for you to come on. So it would look a little like this, but yours is obviously way cooler. This is a meteor body.
correct,
So
correct.
yeah,
That is
yours is like this on crack.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if I showed you what the meteor body looked like, I mean, you'd be completely amazed. I mean, I got one in the garage. Um, I don't want to like leave the cast and leave a. I mean, as soon as my wife comes around, I'll have her go grab it. But so when I was talking to Gant,
Mhm.
we were talking back and forth, and I was telling him my story about the whole autococker thing. And hey, I'd like to bring the gun back. I just needed a body to platform to work off of, and
Right.
I did. I took that platform and I built it up, and I built this amazing shooting gun. And then I had some leftover OG wargame bodies too, as well. So I ended up between the meteor bodies and the wargame bodies is where I built 15 supercockers. That there's one raw left, and that'll be it out of that batch until I can get a good body. If Fabrice, out of France decides to make some more bodies, maybe I'll build some more. But
Yeah, they're not so easy to get. That's why I picked that one up because I mean you don't see meteor cockers just floating around left and right all the time.
no, and if you can really tune them in and get them going and do the right the right
It shoots
stuff to them,
nice. It shoots nice.
oh, it shoots they shoot really good. They shoot really good. So, and at that same time, when I started building the guns, is I went back to the same company because I needed a lubricant. I needed stuff, and this is where the Ultra Silk comes back into play, is
Hmm.
because when I was putting rams together and I was taking, you know, cutting cutting down Dow 33, or I was cutting, I wasn't getting the right consistency. So I went back to the oil company that made this stuff for me 20 some years ago, and I had them redo it again, rejar it, do everything, and I just came back out with it. This is the GZ one.
Check it out. My gear bag is in my car. Otherwise, I'd have mine. It's the only stuff that touches my gun. This Ultra Silk, baby.
So, and this is the gold. And what happened is that 2.5 years ago, all it was blue. It was just a
Hmm.
blue color that came out with. So when I started speaking to, Brimstone Smoke at
Hmm.
ICC, I said, "Hey, listen, I want to pick you guys up. I want to do this. I want to do this." And this happened at ICC 2 years ago. I just gave him a bag of lube. I said, "Hey, just start using this and tell me what you think." And after that event, they were just like flabbergasted. They're like, "Where you been hiding this stuff?" So,
Yeah.
and I believe that's the same time that um, Dave Archibald came up to the booth, because I was in the same booth as the jerky dent, and I was explaining it to him, and I was showing it to him, and I was showing him the whole treatment of the parts. I mean, you're not just lubricating O-rings; you're applying it
Right.
to the metal.
Hmm.
And what that does is the silk inside of it impregnates it into the aluminum, that it gets it nice and smooth. So 2 years go by, within the last, since COVID happened, I started thinking about it deeper into what can I do with the silk. If I can get this product to impregnate itself just through a lubricant, why can't I take it to the next step and chemically do it by impregnating it into the aluminum with heat? And that's where I came
Okay.
out with that's the boom treatment. That's the actual impregnation process that's done with heat, and it's the same properties of the actual product that's in the lubricant. It's the same stuff that's now in the boom juice. You guys
Boom. There it
haven't
is.
seen this yet.
That was
Do
the
you
new.
see the whites? You see the white silk at the bottom of the bottle?
Yes. Yes, I do.
I don't know if you're okay. So what that is, I can't. It's hard to see it there, but what it is that this product that's inside of this is it's very microscopic, and what it does is it embeds itself into the pores of anything. So let's just say you
Okay.
put it on your fingerprint, it will coat the inside of your fingerprints, and as you're rubbing it as fast as you can, it creates friction, and the friction creates heat, and that's where it starts getting really, really slippery. So the hotter this stuff gets, the slipperier it gets. So that's why everybody's noticed the more they use the silk, the better they perform. Their gun performs. They have a different sound signature. They have a different LPR pressures. Their pressure drops off. There's so many things that happen the longer you use it. And using the lubricant. I don't know how often you lube your gun, but you don't need to lube it, but maybe every fourth or fifth time you even use the gun. You don't have to lube it that often.
Oh
So,
wow.
but that's what I'm saying is it doesn't need to be lube. But there's guys out there that are like, you know what? I'm just gonna lube my gun before a tournament, which is great. You want to make sure you have top end maintenance of your gun. So with the impregnation process, which has taken off further than no one's ever thought about treating the aluminum as much as I have. I mean, I've just thought about it. You know what? I'm going to take it to the next step. I'm going to lubricate it, but I'm also going to lubricate the aluminum. So the film that's on there, it just slides back and forth. The silk is just amazing. And that's where the boom juice comes in, because what I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that you can give your gun a boost of silk just before you go play. So
Right.
this is the oil is the carrier of the silk. The lube is the carrier of the silk. They're all carriers. The silk is inside all three properties. All I needed is a carrier for each. So the boom juice is used for the dynamic O-rings. So the dynamic O-rings is the O-rings that move in between the parts. So if you take your bolt apart and you've got the bolt, and then you've got the bolt guide, it's those O-rings there, the O-rings on the bolt, and then the O-rings on the front can. You take one
Right.
or two drops of that and you put it on those spots, you're going to be freaking like smooth as hell for that event. And that's what I recommend everybody to take, is to take the boom juice, apply it to the dynamic O-rings before you play the day. Or let's say you start going into semifinals, juice it. I mean, who doesn't get juiced before an event?
Yeah. Right.
I mean, everybody's doing those protein shakes and juicing. I mean, everybody's doing something.
Take care
Heck,
of their
just a little
body. Take
bit.
care of your gun.
Yeah. So, and that's why this product itself has done leaps and bounds. It's blown my expectations. Seriously. I mean, it's blown away what I thought that this could do. And it's just not reinventing lubricant. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I just want to go down the road smoother,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
silkier. I mean, just that's all I want to do. I'm not trying to reinvent anything.
No, it's awesome. Like
So, and
I
that's
love the product. Julian screams rave reviews about it. I think he has his. I don't know. I guess you did it. I don't know if it's his EMAC or did he get his adrenaline done for you, Julian?
he did them. He did them both.
He did them both.
I literally impregnated both of his guns, his inserts. And I tell everybody, if you're going to do your gun, do your barrels too. I mean, you're talking. I could do 8 parts in a batch, which is pennies. It's $110 to do 8 parts. I
Hmm.
mean, you divide that by 8 parts, and the product is going to last longer than anyone's going to use ever own their guns. I mean, what's the average paintball player use their gun? 3 years, 2 years, but
At
this product's
best.
going to last longer. Yeah, at best. So, but I'm telling you, this product is going to last longer than anyone's going to own their particular gun, and it's it's like I said, it's blown my expectations away, and I'm gonna try to come out with some other SKUs of waxes, something that's not going to penetrate paint. If you can buff out your gun so it doesn't anything stick on the body. But when you impregnate the guns, like the bodies and stuff like that, nothing sticks to it. Like when I've done our cocker bodies, I've done the whole body. Anthony,
Right.
there's a black body in the garage by the oven. Grab it for me. So, so I just like I said, I want to take it to the next level, and you know, I've got some other formulas that I'm working on right now. I want to work on a formula strictly for people that are skeptical about petroleum-based oils. The the stigma on petroleum-based is ridiculous, as petroleum greases destroys O-rings, but it doesn't. I mean, they're just about it. And what happened was is that um, last year at ICC, I had given a jar to Russell Jackson from Shocker
Smart.
Paintball,
Yeah.
and I
Smart
said,
parts. Whatever.
I said, just try. Yeah, it's smart parts. I mean, to me, I call them smart parts. So I gave him a jar, and I said, hey, put an O-ring in there and let it sit in there in a couple days. Let me know if it changes. So,
Mhm.
and he forgot that O-ring in there for 14 months. He said he just opened up the bottle. He said he just opened up the bottle after 14 months, and because he was giving it to one of his guys to to try it out, and the O-ring did not even change one bit after 14 months. and this is Russell from Smart Parts.
That's
So,
amazing.
and I just got done impregnating guns for man, what am I going brain dead? Craig, their head tech, Craig at Smart
Okay, yeah.
Parts. So I just got done doing the impregnation process, the boom treatment to his Lux and to his shocker parts. So I must be doing something right because at ICC I had people give me their guns. Hey, listen, I heard how well this is working for everybody else's guns. I'd like you to do it to my gun. I go, no problem. Just give me your guns and I'll take it back with me and I'll get it done and I'll ship it out to you. Do you want to take it and ship them to me? You're fine. It's more than welcome to. I did 7 guns prior to ICC for um, Rodney Squires.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, I did 7 of his Emacs just before the event, and they just won that event. They won
Yeah.
the ICPL as Cat Factory.
Yeah. For
So,
Tim. That was awesome though what they did for Tim too. I love that they had his jersey and stuff. That was fucking awesome.
oh, yeah, we had TM40 on our jerseys. So on our black jerseys, our game jerseys, we put Tim. And you brought up Tim. Tim got me. If it wasn't for Tim, I wouldn't have got my Ultra Shocker project going.
And you don't like it?
That's awesome.
So
Tim is a special man. Like I said, I
Yeah.
said this a couple times. I didn't know him like really that well or anything like that, but he gave me the platform to play like some of the greatest teams in the history of paintball, like Dynasty and some other ones at the ICC. So I am forever grateful and indebted to him.
Yeah. But here's that meteor body.
Look at that! You can't even recognize that thing
No, I
anymore.
was wearing that.
That's the feather.
Well, you
too.
could tell.
Yeah.
You could tell because of the Baldy tent covers. But
Right.
I mean, the milling that is done on this body. I mean, if you see, I don't know if you can see the sight rail.
No, you can. It looks really nice. You could see all the little detail.
So yeah, and then the inside of this bore, I treated this body. I don't know if you could tell, but I took and I put this and I treated this whole body so this way the bore is nice and smooth.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, why don't you real quick touch on? We were talking about Lone Wolf before and how much that. So, like, how much have they really helped you? Because they're not just local to the Midwest. Like, I know who Lone Wolf Paintball is, and I watch their videos all the time. And I live on Long Island, so how much have they helped you out?
Well, back, I mean, this whole like when I got out of my store, my workbench, all my stuff went to Lone Wolf. Like, so this way, if I had anybody that needed work on autocockers, they would just call me and say, "Hey, listen, gun came in, it needs to be worked on." So my workbench, all my parts, everything was at Lone Wolf. So over the years, just because I wasn't in the industry doesn't mean I was out of it. I was still going there working on people's guns, teching stuff like that. So for their store facility, inside their stores, I was working on guns. And then, like I said, these last, I don't know, about 3 years is when I started building it up more and more and more. And then, their YouTube, channels, their videos, release the information, got that all going. So they're huge.
Yeah, no, they're such a big company.
You there?
So yeah. You froze a little bit, but I think we're back and we're kicking. So, what does like the future hold for Ultrasuck? I know you were saying you want to keep innovating and doing stuff like that. So, like, you got anything like in the works that you like are trying to get to?
Well, I want to make it's gonna be all the PEs are happy that it's not a petroleum-based product, and that you need its blessing for you know, lubricant. None of these gun manufacturers give you a blessing.
Why do you think that is? And I'm so glad that you said that he left that O-ring in there for so long. But why do you think there is such a big stigma on the petroleum lube?
It's a lot of petroleum, a lot of companies that were making like different lubricants back in the day. The chemicals that they were using in it, everybody refers it to if they were like, I don't know, whatever other lubes are out there. I can't specify which ones they are because I don't want people coming back to me saying, you're talking shit about my product. I don't like talking shit about anybody's product. All I know is PE always said, petroleum based products affected their guns. Well, this lubricant does not affect. I've already spoken to O-ring manufacturers and said, hey, does your Bruna O-ring get attacked by petroleum? They're like, no. I'm like, all right, cool. So they show me a bunch of O-rings, and and now I've been testing O-rings. I've been testing O-rings to see if I can find a better O-ring. And yes, I'm in the works of coming out with an O-ring, going to go Ultra Silk line that you can use like a different version with the treatment with the lube, and it's all either going to be Buna or a urethane O-ring, but it's going to have less drag on your bolt system, on your drivetrains. So this way, the gun's operating pressure could be dropped. I can drop your operating pressure by 10 psi. Your efficiency is going to go up 5-10%.
Oh, for sure.
So, and that's I don't know what your operating pressure has been on your guns. Like, I don't know if you've had to turn it down since you've been using the silk. And the more you use it, the better it's going to perform.
Yeah, I haven't changed. I haven't really changed my operating pressure, but I bet you I could. Yeah, I've been using it. Yeah, I mean, I guess like a year now. I've been using it because I still have some of the blue stuff, so I've been using it for a little bit. But
Okay, so you do have the blue stuff, and
yeah.
and when you disassemble your gun, you do get underneath the O-rings, correct?
Oh, 100%, 100%. I go through everything.
Yeah, because everybody makes that mistake of not lubricating underneath the O-ring, and that's where you keep your O-ring from dragging on the metal, and that's where you get your wear and tear on it.
No, for sure. I take the O-ring off and put like the lube in my hand and I rub it all around the O-ring and then I put it back on.
Correct. Yeah, as long as you do that, or you just take a Q-tip and go around the O-ring groove. But yeah, I mean, whichever, as long as it gets underneath the O-ring. So, but yeah, I mean, the like I said, this product beat expectations.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, yeah, thank people. So, who helped you? Who's helped you get this far with everything? Now's the time. Let them know.
Well, I mean, in the last 3 years, I mean, like I said, you got Joe and Tony Angeleri at Lone Wolf. COVID-19 got me spiking back into this industry. I mean,
Yeah, right. Hey, no one's got nothing
Tim.
else to do but
I
clean
mean,
their guns all day. So,
I mean, during COVID-19, I physically I got laid off for a couple months from work, and I just said, screw it, I'm gonna focus, start on, you know, actual product, and that's when I started thinking about more, get more innovative, and that's where I said, screw it, I'm just gonna, focus paintball, and I just made a decision. It would be going on 2 months now that I completely jumped, both feet into, back to paintball.
awesome. No, awesome. So, again, Caesar, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. Um, he's coming in and out. He'll probably be back in a sec. But now I'm going to take this time again to thank our sponsors for this episode, Dizana Sports. Go on over to their website, use code Overshot for 10% off. Like always, Volcano. The code is Volcano10 for the sweet bags. I really want to recommend everyone to subscribe, rate, and review to our show. And I'm going to try and talk for a couple seconds, and hopefully Caesar comes back in and he can leave you with some parting words. He is back. Perfect, perfect. So, Caesar, you got one last chance to talk to the fans and tell them anything else. Anything else you want to say before we sign off for the night? Let you go back to your family. I don't know if he's there. All right, guys, cool. Well, that is going to be the show. So, have a good one, guys. I'm glad I got to introduce you to Caesar for a little. And we're going to definitely have Caesar back. Hopefully, next time with a better connection, we could talk a little bit more freely. And I'll have Waldo in the building next time, too. So, yeah, take it easy, guys.